Once upon a time, in a quaint little town, there lived a man named Bryan Anderson. He was known far and wide for his kind heart and willingness to lend a helping hand to anyone in need. Bryan had faced his share of hardships in life, yet he believed in the simple truth that what goes around comes around, and he embraced this philosophy with all his heart. One chilly winter morning, as Bryan was driving down a deserted road, he noticed an old lady standing helplessly next to her luxurious Mercedes. It was evident that she had a flat tire, and despite the cold weather, no one had bothered to stop and assist her. Bryan's empathetic nature urged him to pull over and offer his help. As he approached the lady, a smile lit up his face, but he could sense her fear and hesitation. Her mind was filled with thoughts of uncertainty and concern. Bryan understood her feelings all too well, having experienced fear himself during tough times. He introduced himself as Bryan Anderson and reassured her, "I'm here to help you, ma'am. Why don't you wait in the car where it's warm?" Without a second thought, Bryan got to work, crawling under her car to locate the jack. His knuckles were scraped and bruised as he worked tirelessly to change the flat tire. He didn't mind the discomfort. He knew he was doing a good deed. As the tire was replaced, the old lady rolled down her window to thank Bryan. She revealed that she was merely passing through from St. Louis and couldn't express her gratitude enough for his timely assistance. Curious, she asked him how much she owed him, willing to pay whatever amount he asked for. But Bryan shook his head and replied with a kind smile, "No need to repay me, ma'am. I only ask that you pay it forward. Help someone else in need when you have the chance, and think of me." With those heartfelt words, the old lady drove away, feeling blessed to have encountered such a compassionate soul. Little did she know that this encounter would sow the seeds of kindness and compassion, setting off a chain reaction of goodwill. A few miles down the road, the lady spotted a small cafe and decided to stop to grab a bite to eat and warm herself up. The cafe looked worn and weathered, but the waitress who attended to her had a radiant smile that warmed the old lady's heart. She noticed the waitress was heavily pregnant, but her positive demeanor remained unaltered despite the obvious strain. The old lady couldn't help but draw a connection between this waitress and Bryan Anderson. Both of them exhibited selflessness and a willingness to help others, despite their struggles. She felt a sense of gratitude and admiration for the people who quietly made the world a better place. After finishing her meal, the lady paid with a generous $100 bill, planning to leave a tip for the waitress. However, as the waitress went to get change, the old lady swiftly left, leaving a napkin behind with a heartfelt message. The waitress returned to find the napkin, and as she read the words, tears welled up in her eyes. The note said, "You don't owe me anything. I have been there too. Somebody once helped me out, the way I'm helping you. If you really want to pay me back, here is what you do. Do not let this chain of love end with you." Underneath the napkin, she found 4 more $100 bills. Overwhelmed with emotions, The waitress realized that the old lady must have known how much she and her husband needed the money, especially with their baby due soon. She held on to the napkin tightly, feeling a surge of hope and faith in humanity. That night, as the waitress lay next to her sleeping husband, she whispered softly, "Everything's going to be all right. I love you, Bryan Anderson." The words echoed through the room, and she knew that this chain of love and kindness would continue to grow, spreading its benevolence far and wide. As days turned into weeks and weeks into months, stories of Bryan's kindness and the old lady's generosity spread like wildfire throughout the town. People began to realize the power of compassion and empathy. Strangers helped strangers, neighbors looked out for one another, and the entire community embraced the philosophy of what goes around comes around. The little town transformed into a harmonious and caring haven where people didn't hesitate to offer a helping hand. Acts of kindness became the norm, and the spirit of giving flowed freely among the residents. Bryan Anderson continued to live his life with an open heart, touching the lives of many without expecting anything in return. He knew that life's journey was unpredictable, but he also believed that goodness would always find its way back to those who sowed its seeds. The moral of the story is that acts of kindness and compassion have a ripple effect that can spread far and wide, ultimately coming back to benefit those who initiate them. When we selflessly help others without expecting anything in return, we create a chain of love and goodwill that can positively impact the lives of countless individuals. The philosophy of what goes around comes around reminds us to embrace empathy, generosity, and a willingness to assist those in need, knowing that our actions have the power to shape a more caring and harmonious world. The end. Thank you for watching. Consider subscribing for more videos like this from this channel. We love